Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grievance-it podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eric Kamara, along with my best friend and co-host, Wendell Peters. How are you today?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Another Sunday.
Another Sunday?
It's a hot one.
It's a hot
So we're going to try to get this done quick.
There we are.
So today I thought we'd do it a little different, right? We're going to try something new, and hopefully we'll get comments on whether or not they like this, and we can do it once a week.
Yeah.
But to stay in the spirit of Grievance-it, I thought it would be smart to start talking about basic, consumers that fight against the system or have problems with the system. And, the first one is going to be perfect, right? It'll explain it all. But yeah, so I thought, that right there is in the spirit of Grievance-it. And it's all about the little people being heard and fighting the big corporations or insurance companies or, whatever it may be.
Right.
So the first one is something that I think a lot of people our ages definitely know about.
Yeah.
But I even think the young generation does too, right? And I bet the young generation probably knows as much about this story as the older generation does, because there's a lot of stuff that I found out that just blew my mind and actually caused me a lot of guilt.
Really.
Yeah, right.
Because it's actually the dynamic of it is that it's literally now the circumstance that is taught in law schools.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, we'll let this describe it. We'll go to my AI avatar that I do use every week, and I want everybody to know we're not trying to fool anybody, but I think it's a more faster and direct way to get information out. And then we do our longer podcasts, and that's the real us, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. And by the way, if you ever bump up against Leon, that's me.
So, all right, so we're going to watch this and we'll talk about it on the other side. On February 27th, 1992, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck bought a 49-cent cup of coffee from a McDonald's drive-thru in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You probably think you know this story. Most people remember it as the woman who spilled coffee on herself and sued McDonald's for millions. But that's not what happened. Stella was riding in the passenger seat of her grandson's car. After they parked, she placed the coffee between her knees and tried to remove the lid to add cream and sugar. The entire cup spilled into her lap. The coffee wasn't just hot. Evidence later showed McDonald's was serving coffee between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cause severe third-degree burns in seconds. Stella suffered third-degree burns to her thighs, groin, and buttocks. She was hospitalized for 8 days, underwent skin grafts, and faced months of recovery. Here's the part most people never heard. She wasn't trying to get rich. She initially asked McDonald's for about $20,000 to cover her medical expenses and related costs. McDonald's offered her only $800. During the trial, evidence showed McDonald's had received hundreds of previous complaints involving burns from its coffee. In August 1994, a jury found McDonald's largely responsible for Stella's injuries and awarded damages. For decades, Stella Liebeck was portrayed as a symbol of a frivolous lawsuit, but the real story may be very different. The headlines tell part of the story. The full story is far more interesting. Join us for the complete Grievance-it case file. A lot more information now than you had before when you heard about it for 30 years.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Because, I'll tell you, like I said, after watching that, after doing the research for it, first off, and then recording it and everything, but, we mocked this woman for a long time, and even now, to this day. And the guilt that I feel, one, I didn't know she was 79. I thought it was a middle-aged woman going to work. That's what I always heard, right? I didn't know how severe and how, debilitating the burns were. And we definitely never heard that she offered them $20,000 just to get her medical paid for, and then they turned around, tried to offer $800, and then turned it into the bigger mess that it really should have been.
Absolutely, yeah. And, as I was telling you, full disclosure, it's, and in my past life lawyering,
yes,
this was all the chatter, and the thing about this, Eric, is that it is this literally it became everything as far as politics, the way we act as human beings, just like you said, this horrific. I mean, these burns were horrible, right? And then And so then literally what it...
And we mocked her.
Yeah, and it triggered this whole thing about tort liability. Like California et al. Wanted to start limiting tort because it was the corporation's opportunity to rat fuck the little person.
Right.
Okay, so they use this mockery. Okay, it is taught in the law schools literally as to how to work the jury.
Yeah.
Because in the end, that's what McDonald's didn't count on.
Right. Right. I mean, like the main thing too. You know, you heard about the hot coffee, and this is McDonald's that puts out this stuff.
And
so
how many they had before?
Oh yeah, so they had like 600 or no, over 600 and something, but maybe like around 1,000 complaints about how hot it was without anybody getting hurt. But it was 180 to 190 degrees.
Right.
You can't even would you even go near a shower that was that hot?
I can't imagine.
You like hot showers? I like hot showers.
But I can't imagine even like these other people.
Yeah.
You just touched it with your lips.
Yeah. I was always a Dunkin' Donut guy, being from the Northeast, right? So, from being from Boston. So, but yeah, I couldn't. And again, I'm not really a coffee guy, but I mean, I've had my morning coffees and 180. I always put milk in it to cool it down to begin with, right? And to have that, man. I mean, and again, we weren't told that. We just thought it was the average cup of coffee. She was careless, and now they got she was an opportunist, right? And this lady was 79 years old, offered them $20,000, and big corporation said, "No, we get you 800." And she handed them their ass on a fucking platter.
And
good for her.
I can't even imagine, because the jury actually came back with comparative negligence towards her.
Yeah.
What possible negligence could she have had? I mean,
getting a cup of coffee. Trust in McDonald's.
You know, I mean, the car wasn't even moving.
No.
Right?
No.
You know, and
that was. And again, I think you mentioned it was the first meme before there was memes.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody talked about this case. Late night TV, you heard all the jokes, right? And they made her an opportunist, a clown, right?
Right.
Because again, I thought she was a middle-aged woman going to work, not a 79-year-old grandmother with her grandson, just getting a cup of coffee
Just
for
a
the
cup
day.
of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like you said, when you brought this up, you know, and I started kind of refreshing, you know, the facts in my head. It's you know, all of a sudden I did the same thing. I just kind of like, you know, I
felt guilt instantly, man.
And I told you this. I had a lady right around this time come in at Burger King. Thing, a little thing, boom, and she starts out with, "Oh, I just want, you know." Well, there wasn't any possible damages, but all of a sudden she started. You know, like, "Oh, I have leaky bladder now," or, you know, and she started wanting lots of money, you know, and I'm like, no, you know, but I mean, people started springboarding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's the time too when people started finding stuff in their chili at Wendy's. And remember that one lady found a thumb? She found a thumb, and then they found out that. So now no, it was Wendy's. So Wendy's like, "No, this ain't happening," right? So they got a private investigator. Who tracked down everything she did, and they found out that her husband, the guy that they worked with, cut his thumb off right there at work.
Oh my God.
And he grabbed the thumb and right away thought, "Oh yeah, this is going to be great." And they put it in.
But it's horrible. And there was so many, you're so right. There were so many.
Imagine the cops. "You know anything about this?" The guy's like, "No, I don't know anything."
Prove it.
"Where's your thumb?" Over here.
That's right. That's right. I mean, because it kind of had got some legs on it, right? So to speak.
It was like this story.
It was like, boom,
everywhere.
Everybody was like, ooh, and you can imagine Wendy's. I mean, right away, nobody's eating chili.
Yeah,
right.
And that's their most. I think that's probably their most sold friggin' item was their chili, man. They even sell it in stores now.
Thumb chili.
No thumb free.
Thumb free chili.
You want beans, beef, or thumb? Extra thumb.
See, look at this. Look at this. You know, we're doing it. But that's because of who we are. But no, there was just and like you know.
You know they heard that all the time.
Yeah.
"How was your meal, sir?" "Give it a thumbs up."
I wish I. Anyway.
But yeah,
I can't
they
tell the
put
one about
her in
Safeway
jail, I
yet.
think.
I can do it. So I can do it in a good way. It slows people down. So you know what? It was just one business after another was kind of then assaulted with this. because nobody took the facts serious. Nobody took her serious.
But
Nobody.
I think she went to jail though. Oh, you mean no? I mean the first lady, the McDonald's,
Oh, but yeah.
the Wendy's one. She went to jail.
She went to jail. Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
owes millions for defamation and and
Yeah. Bad recipe.
You take a lot of ball. Actually, I always say, I can see someone doing the crime, right? Sometimes, but how do you sit in that interrogation room and sit there? Nope, wasn't me. Dude,
me.
you're on fucking video, man. Nope, sorry. Your friend's missing a thumb. It had to be you. Nope, I don't know anything you're talking about. And they sit there still. I'd be like, all right, dude, you got me there. I wouldn't even get in the room.
You got me, man. You got me going now because when you were talking about this, I hadn't thought of all the false claims that suddenly, but it's like everything. It was like, and that was literally the buzzword all the time in the business and stuff is, and it was I mean, I think even George Carlin did some work with it about how, the American culture is you stub your toe and you want $1 million.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you said that she became a meme before they were memes, and I mean, I can't even count the jokes that were made, and to know this woman went through what she went through, and again, that's corporate propaganda too. Who do you think is giving out the misinformation, to the reporters and shit, and saying what they're saying to help their case, and then have to lose and help their case in the community as far as how they look.
And then her punitive damages were reduced dramatically, later on, like they always are. But I mean, because that's really about the lawyers, and that was the whole deal here. She was, to some degree, trying to navigate this on her own, and then had to go. And then Johnny Law, was like, oh, okay, wanting to make bank off it.
But imagine, you're sitting there, you're trying to recover from third-degree burns, you're 79 years old, you turn on TV because you can't sleep that night, and there's Jay Leno making fun of you.
Right, and Saturday Night Live, I have a lot of respect for it, did a shtick.
Yeah.
And...
you never know, people. You never know what they go through.
There was one country western singer that even put it in his song, about everybody wants $1 million, and so it really
just shows us as a society too.
It really does. It really spoke. I think that was one of the. It brought about all the tort reformation, which took the teeth away. Yes, it was a free. I mean, that negligence type of thing was the lawyers back in the old days there were making a ton of dough.
Oh yeah.
Off not much. Okay.
They get a third, right?
Yeah. And and then depending on if it gets to trial, it's even more. But it totally.
Changed everything.
And our culture, I think, in particular, it had. It'll be interesting. Maybe we'll do a little follow up because I had, like you mentioned, all these other cases.
Yeah.
And then the sociological and the cultural.
Yeah. Well, it did a lot for that.
Yeah.
But again, if I had known immediately, I wouldn't have cared what age the woman was. If I had known it was between 180 to 190 degrees, right away I would have said, "Wow, McDonald's better stop paying, man, because that is some." Why would you make it that hot, man? And then to get, I'm pretty sure it was in the hundreds to like 600 and something. I think it was an exact number of complaints they had already gotten about how hot it was, and they just took no action. And I don't know I guess the mentality behind it is you want your customers to have a hot cup of coffee, and let's say it's sitting there for a minute while it waits for everything else. It's still going to be. At a good temperature,
you're in Buffalo. Because
you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right?
Or you're in Boston.
Yeah, if you're in Boston, you better have that coffee, right?
And it's like now, I mean, the only way you're going to get, because most of the time it's now kind of almost lukewarm, right? Like Starbucks, but you got to ask for this extra heat thing, and I think they'd probably take your picture.
Give you a disclaimer.
Yeah, and
but I can't see you laughing at it.
But it's like you said, it's that. Again, I don't mean to, but I had this thing where the mother put the baby in a bathtub water the hot water heater was like, what's the hottest it can go?
Like 100 and, he's supposed to be around 130, I think. Or
well, and it was up,
and I think that's high.
Just you know, and so
120. I think
so
it's
here's
120.
this lady's, you know, privates in her thighs,
Yeah.
and you know, it's
I blamed her.
Yep.
We should have known better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this, I mean, a lot of people hearing this now should wake up a lot of people too, you know,
Yeah.
because the main reason why you didn't know the facts is because McDonald's had a better channel, a better network of getting the information out.
Right.
And I don't know, I think she should have got, I mean, just for the personal attacks alone that it caused, you know?
Yeah.
And
yes.
all she wanted was her medical bills paid. It just shows the corporate greed that we're trying to show here at Grievance-it.
Right, and that there are, you know, she had the fortitude. This little lady from New Mexico
Yeah.
was like willing to go the distance.
She was,
which is, I think, part of the deal here. Is they first are going to try and grind you down. They're going to mock you, embarrass you. You'll do depositions and stuff.
Oh, you're not going to win in court. You might as well just take the $100 and get it over with.
Right.
You're going to get nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
They try that shit all the time.
Yeah. And especially the fact, you know, the big thing is they're having prior knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, if this was the first time, it doesn't even, well, it wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter directly, but that just overwhelmingly shows just how neglected and negligent they were.
You know, because it's there was, you know, failure to warn, right? There was no, you know.
I think they have that now, don't they, on the cuffs?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's dangerous.
And people still go, man, I need a fucking warning to let me know it's hot. You know, yeah, you do.
And the corporation knows of the risk, right?
Right.
And it's an unreasonably dangerous product temperature.
Yeah.
So I mean that would be something that your bean counters would have told you.
Yeah.
I mean just like the Pinto, not the Pinto.
Yeah.
Was it the Pinto?
Yeah.
Yeah. They knew it would blow up, right?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean the Pinto is a perfect example, and they knew it for a long time. You know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do an episode on that because again, you have heroes that stand their ground. No matter how big the corporation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Ford. You know, you're talking about McDonald's. It's the biggest corporations in
Right.
the world.
Yeah.
You know,
And
this little old lady
they're
has to go against
American,
them. Yeah.
you know?
And just but without even beginning the case, just the threat of them, just the fact of who they are. You know, you feel like, oh, it's not going to matter. You know, they got all the lawyers. Well, she proved that it matters.
Can you imagine? It's just like in the movies, right? They come in their first appearance, and she comes in with Johnny from Albuquerque, New Mexico, you know, with his attaché, and then they come in and they're five deep.
Yeah, they're five, like 6, 7 lawyers,
you know,
and they all sit down at the same time in unison, or they're all standing behind the one guy.
and they have a jury selection guy.
Yeah, that's
you know.
how it is, too.
Oh man,
Right?
you know, yeah.
And each one's a jury guy. You know, he knows how to select the perfect jury. The other guy is the guy that's gonna, be the head, the lead, who's gonna do the opening. Yep.
Yeah.
And the questioning, and they can afford that.
Yeah.
And that little old lady
Can you imagine
beat them.
Ford?
Huh?
I mean, like, man.
Especially Ford too. Even worse than McDonald's, you would think, right?
Right.
We're gonna find
Not
out.
to mention, can you imagine? I mean, you see how it would flow so the workers on the line at Ford are going, they're fucking with my paycheck, right? And so
On
even,
February 26th.
they're affected by the lawsuit, not necessarily because, they didn't identify with her, but that, then it's going to come out of their paycheck if Ford lost, right?
Yeah.
And,
Of course, I mean, it all trickles down.
So,
Oh yeah, it doesn't trickle down. It's the good stuff.
yeah.
So next week the next episode we are going to do the Pinto. I thought that was a great story, and I hope not only do you get information like this and learn that a lot of what we heard was misinformation, 100%. And again, I have some guilt knowing what I know now, and I hope this right here will inspire anybody to, if you got a problem with a corporation, use your voice, get out there, and don't just take it, because as you can see, if a 79-year-old woman can win, so can't you.
Yeah.
So, till the Pinto story.
Pinto.
Pinto story. All right, thanks, and we'll see you next time.